Hello and welcome to The Peaceful Place, a podcast dedicated to helping you to find your inner center, your inner calm, your personal empowerment. I'm your host, Melissa Field, and today we're going to continue to work with the belief and the knowing I can handle this. I can handle this is something I have been really working on myself because I have come to see in my own self how much I really don't trust myself, how much I expect myself to dissolve into anxiety, fear, overwhelm when things are happening to me or around me. I really don't have the belief wired in of I can handle this. I can handle this. And so I did a discussion around this a couple of weeks ago where I just started to talk about this belief and how it gets wired in. And even me saying that this is a belief could be bringing up feelings in you because we can think this so much and notice how we've reacted to things in the past that we don't even consider it a belief. It feels like a fact, a truth that if something happens, I'm going to get scared or I'm going to get angry. And we really just believe that whatever happens in life, we're going to lose control and we can't handle it. The reason that this belief gets locked in so deeply and feels like a fact is because for the most part, it gets created before we're even aware we are creating a belief system about ourselves. So as an example, let's say as a child, your parents were just arguing all the time, shouting at each other. And maybe they weren't even shouting at you, but there was just a lot of noise and anger. And as a child, you can't handle that. You don't have the tools. You don't have the capacity for that kind of big, explosive feelings. That's really overwhelming to a child's body. And so you develop the belief, I can't handle this. And then as an adult, when you get into something really overwhelming, like let's say a conflict at work or something happens within your body, you get bad news about a medical diagnosis, and your instant reaction is overwhelm. You go back to being that child who is overwhelmed and anxious and scared. And so because you revert back to that place without knowing where it came from, it just feels like who you are. But there was a point it was created because, again, as a child, you literally couldn't handle that. You had no control over these people, what they were doing. Maybe you even wanted to help. Maybe you tried to be supportive and conform yourself to them. You tried to withhold your own emotions to help them to feel better, to dampen the emotional intensity in the house. And it didn't really make a difference. So then you feel also powerless. And that's just one example of how this belief will get rooted in. And that kind of thing can begin before you even realize you're forming thoughts. We don't even really remember anything before the ages of like 5 or 6. And let's say you have like 1 or 2 memories from when you're 5. Okay, all throughout that year, you were having thoughts, processing things, noticing things, internalizing beliefs about yourself and the world and how things work. And so because we don't remember where this came from, it really will feel like this is who you are, but it's not who you are. It is 100% a belief that can and will change. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the practice. And I'm not going to talk too much more about how this belief gets absorbed. I just want you to stay with me that this is a belief that can and will change because you may already be feeling a discomfort with this or a dislike or wanting to say, no, that's not true. Sorry, that was my dog. Or you might want to be saying, no, that's not true. Like, you don't understand. You don't know me. Like, I really can't handle this. And as someone who started having panic attacks when I was 12 years old, trust me when I say that I totally get it. These things can feel so big that it can feel like it will never change, but it can. It can and it will. And it starts with number 1, acknowledging it's a belief. And number 2, you can change your beliefs one thought at a time. You have that power. You have the ability to rewire your neural mindset. You have the ability to create new beliefs for yourself that work better for you and that are empowering. And I want to just give one other quick thought on that before we really dive into the practice. Another reason that we sometimes dig into the belief of I can't handle this is because as children, or maybe even throughout your whole life, your feelings were not acknowledged and valued. So you may have been having overwhelming experiences as a child. It could have been in your home. It could have just been the neighborhood you lived in had a lot of violence and it was an intense place to grow up. Whatever it was, it could have been that what you were feeling and experiencing was dismissed. So you don't want to dismiss yourself now. It's like a knee-jerk defense kicking in. And so it's totally okay to say to yourself that, yes, what I'm experiencing is overwhelming, and to acknowledge it. We're not denying that you might be facing something really big and scary and that it's causing you to have a reaction. You don't want to ignore what's happening in your inner world, but what you want to do is say to yourself, I acknowledge that this is happening, but I can handle it. I can handle this. And just telling yourself that can really make a shift, and saying to yourself, I can choose a new way to think about this. I learned tools as a child that, you know what, they're not really working for me right now. They often just leave me feeling anxious, scared, angry. So let me just try this new thing and just try it on. I can handle this. So first, what I want you to do is just repeat that to yourself and follow it with the phrase, and this is easy. Now, you might again be wanting to push back and say, no, it's not easy. Here's the thing. We tell ourselves things all day that are not true. All day, you tell yourselves things about how valuable you are, how capable you are, about how loved you are. We all know we do this, that we are distorted in our sense of kind of inner perception. We tell ourselves things that diminish our value. We are constantly telling ourselves things that are not true. So if your brain is ready and willing to listen to things that maybe aren't true, well, then let's give it things that are working to its advantage. And the funny thing is, when you think something enough, it will become true. It will become how you show up. So you can think to yourself all day, I'm not capable, and that will cause so much anxiety and doubt in yourself that you really will start to not be able to function as well. You really will create a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's not because you're not capable. It's because you're probably just questioning yourself all the time, maybe not doing your best because you're overwhelmed and distracted. And so if you're going to tell yourself things that maybe are not true, well then, yes, absolutely tell yourself things that are empowering. So you're going to tell yourself whatever it is you're facing, whatever it is you're going through, or you're maybe scared of happening. You might be anticipating a promotion or a change in your life. It might be something that hasn't happened yet, but you're worried about it. You're going to tell yourself, I can handle this, and this is easy. Tell yourself that right now with full conviction, and give yourself permission to say it and to listen to yourself, because again, you tell yourself things all the time that are not true and are not helpful. So just give yourself this chance to try something new. I can handle this, and this is easy. Now, what I want you to do is imagine that you have a toolbox in front of you. We were talking earlier about how when you're a child, these overwhelming adult things are happening to you that you're expected to know how to navigate, and it makes you feel like, I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to have emotional regulation or balance myself. And so I want you to acknowledge right now that that's no longer true. That was true before, and that experience was so overwhelming that it kind of kicks in on its own now when you feel overwhelmed. But you now are an adult, and you know things that you did not know as a child. And so I want you to imagine this toolbox, and inside of it are all of your tools for how you will manage things when they feel overwhelming, scary, intense. And what can you put in your toolbox? Number one, taking a deep breath. I don't remember anyone as a child being taught the power of a deep breath. I don't remember any adult saying that, you know what? When you breathe deep, your entire nervous system responds. When you breathe deep, it floods your muscles with oxygen and they release tension. When you breathe deep, it just slows you down and allows energy to flow through you. And so you might be wondering, what am I going to put in my toolbox? Well, number one, breath work. It's simple, it's easy, it works, and it's something you can just do right now. And then from there, what you put in there, it's going to be personal to you. If you've been to therapy, it could be things you've learned in therapy. If you did yoga and that really helped you, put that in. If you did meditation and that helped you, put that in. If you read a book and that helped you, put that in. And you might start to realize that you have a lot to put in your toolbox, and maybe you even need a bigger one. Books, podcasts, workbooks, workshops, anything you've done that helped you to come back to yourself and learn a tool about managing your feelings, releasing stress, emotional regulation. And I promise that you have learned more than you think you have. And it could be just a self-awareness. It could be, well, I like to take a walk around the block. That makes me feel better. That's going in the toolbox. I like to pet my dog. That makes me feel better. That's going in the toolbox. These are all things that you didn't understand the power of, and that you maybe haven't really even thought about the power of now. And a lot of times with big feelings, we feel we need something equally big, when in fact, sometimes we need something small to counterbalance it. Sometimes I'll even just kind of rub my hand in a circular motion on my chest, and it just feels so soothing. It feels so soothing to connect to where my heart is and this soothing gesture. And hey, put that in. Maybe you're not even going to use it, but you've got that in your toolbox now. And just put in anything at all that tells you, I can handle this. I can handle this. And it's easy. Now I want you to think about some times that you went through something that was really challenging and that you got to the other side of it. It does not matter how you went through it. If you were anxious the whole time, overwhelmed the whole time, it doesn't matter, because you were in a space of learning then, and you've learned a lot since then, and you maybe didn't even have the awareness then that you were kind of operating from these old belief systems. So you can just be kind to yourself about how you went through it. But the important thing is you got through it. This is evidence that you can get through challenging things. They may have been things that you chose for yourself. Like maybe you went on a trip traveling by yourself and it was something exciting and adventurous, but also very challenging. It doesn't have to be something that was overtly negative or scary. It can be all kinds of different challenges that you went through, like getting a promotion at work. That could be something you really worked hard for, that you really wanted, but that was challenging and you rose to the occasion. Or it just didn't work out how you wanted, how you thought it would, and you got through that. But it could also be something that was intense and that you didn't choose for yourself. Maybe somebody you know was diagnosed with something. Maybe something sudden and unexpected just completely turned your world upside down. But whatever it is, I want you to think about it and the fact that nobody got you through that except you. And as I said, even if you didn't handle it perfect, it doesn't matter, because that means that even without access to proper tools that you were not given as a child, you got through it through your own resilience, your own strength, your own inner resolve got you through that. So just think about those things now and really give yourself credit. I want you to really celebrate yourself in a way that maybe you haven't done before. Like, wow, I did that. I walked through that and I came out the other side. Now I want you to again repeat to yourself, I can handle this, and this is easy. I can handle this. This is easy for me. I got this. I can handle this. And we're repeating this again because this is really the heart of this practice, is rewiring your self-talk. Your self-talk is probably on an autopilot that keeps dinging in with, anxiety or reasons why you can't, reasons why you should be afraid, with visualizations of the worst that's going to happen. So you are going to just get back into the driver's seat, put your hands on the steering wheel and say, wait a minute, I don't like where this autopilot is taking me. Here's the new direction I'm going in. I can handle this, and that is what is going to be my truth. I can handle this. I have a toolbox. I've been through challenging things before. All evidence points to the fact that I have what it takes. I just need to let go of that old belief system that came from a place that created a false sense of reality. You're just letting go of that belief system that was created from a place that never empowered you, and that wasn't allowing you to understand that you do have what it takes. So I want you to just repeat it again. Really wire that in. I can handle this, and this can be easy. Now we're going to bring your attention onto your body. You're going to bring yourself into this moment. I want you to just become aware of your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Just bring your attention into yourself. And I want you to just breathe with yourself right here. Maybe put your hands on your chest. And just feel yourself slowing down. Reconnecting to yourself is often a really powerful component of knowing I can handle this. Because when we are overwhelmed with I can't handle it, it's usually because our attention is going to all of the stuff outside of us, and most of it, maybe even all of it, we don't have control over. I am constantly trying to control things I cannot control, and it really leaves me with that feeling of anxiety and overwhelm. Learning to return to myself and just know that in every moment I can control my breath has been really powerful for me, because sometimes what we need more than anything is to find something we can control. We need to find something we can control, and that is a natural reaction. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem becomes when we start to control what's happening outside of us, and we can't. We can't do anything about it, and so we just start to feel worse. So you're just going to come into yourself. You're going to breathe. I want you to make your breath intentionally deeper and longer, because this is something you can control. This is something you have control over. You can make your breath deeper. You can count. You can notice your breath. You can control your breath, and your breath is powerful. Your breath soothes your body. Your breath brings down your nervous system. Your breath brings you back into yourself. The breath is very calming, but the breath is also a spiritual component, and it really helps us to just reconnect to the fact that we are a part of something greater. We are loved and supported by these higher dimensional energies at all times. There's so much love from the universe pouring onto you in every moment. And sometimes it's just opening up to that and kind of feeling like you open your hands and just say, I'm ready and willing to receive. just allowing something in beyond you. And there's a component of surrender in that. Just allowing yourself to be held and supported. And I want you to feel that right now, that there is love for you here. There is guidance for you here. You can just breathe into that. And that in itself can help you to know, I can handle this, because now you're remembering, I don't have to do it all alone. There's this big divine force that can see everything, and it can see these solutions that we can't see. If there is somebody you are meant to meet because they're going to be the one who provides you with your next step, but you're not even aware that they exist, then we can definitely kind of just get stuck in the feeling of like, I don't know what to do and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and really just spiraling bigger, when there is an answer. There's a person, and we have to trust that they'll be brought to us in the divine right time, in the divine right way. We can't see everything. Look around you right now. How far can you see? How much information do you have access to? With our phones, we can get into the belief that we have all of the information available to us. And we do have a lot of resources and things that we're connected to now that we weren't. But the fact is, we just can never do what the higher forces of the universe can do. We can't see what they can see. And I know you've experienced this, where something just shows up and it just blows your mind by like, okay, that happened at exactly the right time, and that was exactly what I needed. We have all had these experiences we can't explain, where we couldn't see it, but the thing was on its way to us. So I want you to just feel into that now. You are being loved and supported, and answers are coming. Answers are coming. Solutions are coming. So you've got this big, mystical, divine universe on your side. You've got your toolbox, and your toolbox is full of things that you can pull out in any moment. A deep breath. You're overwhelmed. You just say, excuse me, I just need to use the restroom for a moment. And you don't tell anyone what you're going to do, but you just step away into a private space, put your hands on your heart, and breathe. And you're going to remind yourself that the belief that I can't handle what's happening, it just came from things that weren't your fault, that were happening beyond your control. And now you're just letting that go. You're just saying, oh, you know what? That came from a space where I wasn't given all the information about how to handle things and who I am and what I'm responsible for. A lot of our feelings of I can't handle this came from being children who were made to be responsible for adult things when we were just children. So now we've done this practice of, I can handle this. And I want you to really repeat this often, because as I said, it's going to be something that has to be wired in, and you're going to have to kind of push back on those other thoughts that want to tell you something different. And you might start to feel some anxiety and think, oh, that's evidence of I can't handle this. You might feel panic. You might feel anger. That is not evidence that you can't handle it. That is evidence that you were not given the proper tools, and now you're learning them. That's all you need to know. Like, oh, okay, this is coming from old information that's still got momentum going. No big deal. You know, everybody struggles with this in some way, and you're not going to get down on yourself. You're not going to think, oh, okay, this means I really am somebody who just doesn't have strength or grit or whatever. No, you do. You do. And just keep looking for the evidence of, I can handle this. It's there. In past experiences, in daily moments, it's always there. Never underestimate the power of confirmation bias. Whatever it is you are believing, if there is one tiny sand grain of evidence for it, your brain will latch onto it. All you need to do is say, brain, look for evidence that I can handle this, and I swear to you, you will start to see it everywhere all the time. But you have to kind of give it those directions. We have to consciously direct our brain, because subconsciously it is most likely defaulting to looking for evidence of I can't handle this, or It's creating it. I can't even tell you how often I visualize myself going into a situation and just falling apart, not being able to handle it. And it's like, why am I creating evidence that doesn't even exist? It's like, I'm so determined to see something that it's just like, well, if it's not actually happening, then I'll just pretend it's happening. Like, why? I don't know. Brains are so weird. But the main thing is you want to get in the driver's seat and take conscious control and say, I am not going to do that anymore. I refuse to play that game with myself for a second longer. I can handle this, and this is easy. I got it. So that is our practice for today of just empowering yourself. And whatever it is you are going through, I am giving you so much compassion. Really big, overwhelming, scary things do happen, and I did not want to diminish or dismiss them in any way, but I just didn't want to get into a long discussion about that and feed into fears you may already be having when we're here to shift and to know that whatever's happening, you can handle it. You're going to get through it. I know you can. I know you have what it takes. We just have to pull that up in you, and you are so much stronger and more capable than you know. Trust me when I say this, that the world is just full of information that makes us doubt ourselves, and people move mountains. People do things that are just so mind-boggling that it's like, where did that come from? And they just somehow tapped into this naturally. And we're just pushing ourselves in that direction of just knowing we are all so much more capable and stronger than we know. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. This is something I'm working on myself. So I may return to this again because I just want to shift this powerfully in myself. I am tired of showing up, doubting myself and expecting myself to be someone different than who I know I really am. I know that strength and that resilience is within me. So I'm going to keep working at this. And after this, I'm going to record a meditation that will go into my membership that will pair with this, which would be a meditation around I can handle this, that you can use for a daily practice for really deeply rewiring those beliefs. When we meditate, we can really just get into such a deep state of focus and we relax, which kind of naturally brings down those defenses and things just go in faster. It kind of like accelerates the whole process. It's like speeding up the rewiring by 1,000%. So if you want to work on this more, I would love for you to join me in my membership, which has over 250 other powerful meditations. And when I say meditations, I am really talking about my unique version of the meditation experience, which is something I've spent a long time developing. And it's essentially meditations designed to rewire your neural network. So they are going to work on deep layers of your cognitive processing to build confidence, to build trust in yourself, relaxation, surrender. There's all kinds of different ones, and there are visualizations, and then there are courses if you decide to join some of the higher tiers. But tier 1 with all the meditations is $5 a month, and it's so powerful. It's just a life-changing experience, and that I can handle this meditation will be in there. But if you just want that meditation and you want to sign up for something and you want to get it right now and you're on Apple Podcasts, it is included in the bonus material. And so you can just get that through Apple Podcasts, but the membership just has so much value that I would love for you to experience that and get these shifts that you are ready for and that you deserve, to get the confidence that was never given to you, that you deserve and that you are worthy of. So that is the Dream Life Sanctuary. The link will be in my episode notes. And thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope I'll see you again somewhere else, here or in the membership, or you can always connect with me on Instagram. This is The Peaceful Place, and I'm your host, Melissa Field.